Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark from the States. How are we doing today? I'm doing fantastic. I hope you are as well. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate all of you. I hope you understand that you guys are really important to me, and I love our channel. I do. Come sit with me. Today we're going to go back to the canal boating with DownieLive Mike over there, who is, of course, graciously given his permission for us to learn and see cool things, his journeys. He did one a couple years ago that we've already seen all. Now this is more of a recent one. It's a couple months ago. And today's video is boating the city with more canal than Venice. Okay. And then there's one more. I think we're going to do this modern boat lift, which I've seen thumbnails and pictures of, clips in these videos that he kind of shows you what's ahead kind of thing. And it looks pretty amazing. We've, of course, seen the older one, and this is the modern one. So that's the next one. But today we're going to look at more canals in Venice. We're going to go ahead and dart out. As you can see right here, where I have no idea where this is, but it looks like we're in a pretty good size city. So I'm excited to see this. Before we go, down below, as usual, there's a couple links to his channel and to this video. Please go and show some love to his channel. It's really important that you do so. If you have one like, one subscription to give today, please go and give it to him. I'm here to learn. He does that for a living. He deserves it. Without him, I'm not doing any of this. So because of him and others like him, I'm able to see and learn and have met all of you. So very thankful. So let's get into it. I don't think it's too long. It's about a half hour, I think. And let's get into it.
Is the canal, and this is the city. There is one city in the world that is most well known for its canals.
Yes.
However, we're about to cruise a narrowboat into the city that has more miles of canal than Venice. This is Birmingham. And welcome to DownieLive Travels by Boat.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, of course, Peaky Blinders took place in Birmingham. They showed them on. And, Peaky Blinders, truth, right? So I should have known that, Birmingham.
Now, to book this adventure, I used drifters.co.uk, and they found us a boat with ABC Boat Hire. Welcome to Dusky Lark. So,
love
I'm
it.
going to give you a tour on board. Lots of space here for steering and for guests to sit. Let's head in to the first.
Who's he going to have with him today?
It's a double bed. It's kind of perched up for daytime mode. Goes down, goes slightly wider at night. 2 large windows, so lots of light in here. Large closet for all your stuff. As we come down the hall, we come past the first of 2 washrooms. Both washrooms are incredibly spacious. I'm gonna stick my arm out and not touch anything, but they also both have full-size showers. As we leave the bathroom, we come into the second bedroom. Lots of natural lighting with the big windows, and then we pass the second washroom, also a shower. And then we enter the kitchen. Full gas stovetop, grill, oven. They call it an escape hatch. I call it a sunlight. Big windows again.
We'll call it
a kitchen on a narrowboat.
Sunlight.
Really bright, really spacious, and that leads us into the living room and dining room. Kind of does both. Personally, I love the L-shaped seating, so you can look out the window as we're cruising along. And of course, the final piece is our front deck. But this doesn't look like the city, does it? Well, that's because the marina where we rented this from is in Alvechurch. It's outside of Birmingham. There are no rental boat companies in Birmingham. So we rented it, and we're headed into the city today. As you can guess by the title of this video,
wow.
Birmingham does have more canals than Venice. In fact, Venice only has about 26 miles of canals. Birmingham at one point had 126
Dang.
miles. Mind you, 26 of that has been left abandoned. So there's still 100 miles of active canal in Birmingham. And that's what we're gonna go see. Well, as much of it as we can. I have to admit, immediately, I would not guess we are anywhere near a city. I think
Right.
that's what we're gonna see. Is this is the beautiful part about the canals, is even though it can be so close or even in a city, it often won't feel like you are at all. Right away, compare this bridge to the bridges from the previous video. Nice little brick bridges. This is a traffic bridge. We are definitely getting close to a city.
And the graffiti.
Headed to Birmingham. See if we get there. Thanks. It's pretty incredible. We'll be just puttering along, come underneath something that reminds us we're getting close to a city, but then suddenly you're just back in a field or the countryside, just so sheltered from the elements of the city. Wow, this is nice. Remember,
like you're on
most
Jungle
canals run through
Cruise.
the countryside. I tried narrowboating for the first time 2 years ago with Nicole, back when I had long hair, and we saw more sheep and cows than we did people. But this
I
time,
remember.
we're heading towards a city. And yes, I mean we. I don't have to do this boat alone.
Oh, she's
Nicole
back.
is joining us, everybody. Down in the distance is the tunnel. Nicole, the tunnel is here. Okay, we need to turn on all the lights inside.
Okay. Aye, aye, Captain. I don't know where they are, but I'll find them.
I need to turn on the headlight and give 2 strong blasts of the horn and 1 long one. This is going to be a very long tunnel, so it's going to be very cold. We're going to need heavy sweaters. The other thing that we need are life jackets. Nice toss, babe. Very sexy for the camera.
All the lights are on, Captain.
All the lights are on. The front light is on.
Good thing I just put sunscreen on.
Sweater, life jacket, coffees, lights are on. We're ready.
45 minutes, so who's got the time? I think I made the coffee stronger. Maybe a little too strong.
Yeah, it's good. It'll get us through the tunnel. So this is the Wast Hill Tunnel. It's 2,400.
Hey, you two knock it off. Crazy that we have a third cat living with us. My son stayed for the holiday, right? And he brought their cat, and these two tried to bully the other cat, like, you know, territorial stuff. And they've been more at each other since that cat left today than they have been the whole time that cat was here. They're taking it out on each other now that the other cat is no longer here. You two knock it off.
193 meters long. But what I find really interesting is there's obviously no tow path inside, so the horses would go up and over and meet you on the other end of the tunnel. But it is in fact wide enough for 2
Wast Hill.
boats.
No way.
So the tunnel is wide enough for another boat to pass. Oh, it's dripping on me. Feel that? It does leak a little bit. That's cool. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's like covered in stalactites. This is a brick-lined tunnel, but all I can see are stalactites, stalagmites, cave slime. When you encounter a big hill, the fastest way for a boat to get to the other side is to simply go through it. But building a tunnel is obviously more expensive and more work, but it's critical to keeping the flow of cargo and goods moving quickly, even if that high speed is only 3 miles per hour.
Look at this drip coming up. Like that's like a proper shower.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah.
I'm going inside. See ya. You're doing great.
Okay.
Don't stick your tongue out.
Groundwater seeping through. Let's blow the horn again. One more time. That's pretty cool. This is a very, very wet tunnel. So as you can see, the reason they tell you to turn all your inside lights in the boat on is so they reflect on the walls. And that helps you see better as you go through the tunnel. You can tell where the tunnel edges are, so you can make sure you're staying in the middle.
I don't know how you can get 2
way to
boats in
go.
there.
Oh, that sign. That says 300 meters. We've gone 300 meters of 2.5 kilometers.
Oh my god.
As you can tell, a 45-minute long tunnel is in fact the
Nicole's the
longest tunnel
greatest.
on this canal.
So how old is this tunnel?
No idea.
You don't know. That's not your job.
Nicole is right. I normally do a lot of research before these trips.
Is it wet?
No, it doesn't say. But I can tell you now that it was built in 1796, which is so old. I mean,
Wow.
This is a tunnel for boats that is still operating today. Okay, we can actually see brick here. This stretch seems to be a lot drier.
1796.
I love how the water is so perfectly calm and flat that it almost makes like a perfect pipe, perfect tunnel, perfect round entrance, as opposed to a half circle tunnel, flat surface, if you know what I mean. But you can tell, you can see here, it's not a perfectly straight tunnel. It's a little bit S. So Nicole's definitely having to steer us through. But it's definitely straight enough that we can see the exit. Tiny little pinprick of a light. We've done 600 meters. Just another 1,900 meters to go. I mean, how cool is this? Floating through a tunnel on essentially a houseboat. I mean, I don't know where else in the world you can still operate and experience this type of engineering. So the reason they make us wear the life jackets is because there's no tow path for you to just pull yourself up on. If some reason you got knocked off the boat, whatever reason, and started to fall back, if the other person didn't notice, well, you can't just pull yourself off on the tow path, but you could hit your head a lot more easily, and also it's very difficult to be spotted because it's so dark in here. So you could be in there for a while.
I couldn't imagine the worst spot to fall out.
I want you to know, outside is warm enough for t-shirts, but inside is so cold you can see our breath.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. That is cold.
I don't see the waterfall yet.
No, it's coming.
Oh, I see it on the water.
Yeah. Might just bring it in here and hear you better.
It feels a little mean that you just want to get my reaction of getting hit in the face with a fluid.
Your reaction is better than mine.
Feels like a tough look.
Not of a fluid. Don't say it like that.
Well, I'm just calling it like I see it.
Oh.
Here's your air shaft, baby.
Here's an air shaft. There are 2 ventilation shafts which are used to bring fresh air into the tunnel, but they were also used during construction to haul out dirt and rock while they were digging the tunnel. Feels like we should stop the boat right under it and have a singing solo in the spotlight. Oh, we're getting closer. I find it so incredible that we've been left alone to drive a boat ourselves underground for 45 minutes.
Right.
In a tunnel that was built well over 200 years ago. That is so dark behind us. Tiny spot of light, which means we're almost done. It just got bigger in here, and it feels a little bit more like a cathedral. Ooh, this is spacious now.
That's me like riding a bicycle.
Yeah, you
It's
got it.
really just on autopilot.
Now, it's not immediately clear as we exit the tunnel where we are exactly. But let me tell you that we have in fact reached the outskirts of Birmingham. And that is it. Oh, you feel that?
Yeah.
Instantly warmer.
Woo!
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not my
I don't know about
feels enough
45
easy the
minutes.
last
I mean,
minute
I know they went to
later.
that other tunnel that was way
Well, we
longer.
got fresh air
but
now. Onwards to Birmingham.
I think after
So
10 minutes,
fresh
I'm
in
probably ready to
comparison.
get out of the tunnel.
You don't realize how much you miss it.
No, you can instantly feel it as you come out of the tunnel.
I feel like I'm still soaked.
You are still soaked. The boat looks like we've been out in the rain all day. Instead, we've been in a tunnel. Water on your nose.
Yeah, I don't think you need it closer with my pores, but thank you. This is great. Let me know, I'll drop my skincare routine.
So it's hard to get an idea of how long things are going to take on the canal, but since you go about walking speed, I tend to put it into my GPS and just check for directions for walking. Also, it will give you the walking directions generally along the canal path. So yeah, this is good anywhere on the left.
It's beautiful,
I'd like us
bro.
to
I
get to the
mean,
gas Street
it's like
Basin.
you're in a,
We have about
yeah,
another
like
3 hours
Africa
to
or
get to
something.
Gas
On the
Street
Jungle
Basin.
Cruise.
This is the behind the scenes shots that you don't normally get to see. Michael has pulled the boat over and he is now flying the drone. I have the fun job of holding the boat to the side of the river whilst Mike flies the drone. This is the sexy stuff you just don't get to see on DownieLive normally. How the sausage is made. We're just hanging out in neutral. Cruise is on pause until the drone footage is done. Isn't that right, Mike?
That tunnel had us cross the city limits and arrive
Wow.
in a community. But you wouldn't guess it from down here, would you? I can't see anything other than trees and greenery. But there are a few small hints that we're getting closer to the city. We've stopped the engine. We've been struggling the last little bit.
Uh-oh.
Well, we're not sure, but we think there might be something in the propeller. You have the keys in your pocket? I gotta admit, this is not the cleanest looking water.
Duh.
I don't want to stick my hand in there, but if we're not going anywhere, I'm gonna have to. Oh yeah, we've definitely got cloth of some sort.
A cloth?
Yeah, we got something. Can't tell if it's a blanket or a sweater.
Oh my gosh.
Wood.
How'd that
and,
end up in the
part of a
water?
Pop can so far. So you want to be
It
very
maybe
careful
blew
with your
off
fingers.
a boat.
I'm
maybe.
doing this very slowly. I might need like
Oh
a knife.
gosh.
Thank you. Some of it. Yeah. Heavy.
What is that? It's like a
Oh, is that the rest
blanket.
of it? That might be it. There's a big, like, doormat carpet or something. Let's check. I think we're free. I think that's it. Look at that. Whew. No wonder we weren't going anywhere.
It's so.
We're gonna
It
test
must have
this.
like blown off
Make sure it's sealed.
another
before we shut it
boat
up.
or something.
No water is coming up from it. We're good. Feel better?
Keep sorting it.
An intersection we didn't anticipate. This way. Now, some other hints that we're headed in the right direction towards the city center are a little more obvious. We're starting to see
Right.
a little bit more
Graffiti, yeah.
than we did in previous videos. We're getting
Wall
close to the
art.
city. Nicole and I have ridden on a handful of canals and canal boats together, and this one's interesting. It's not the usual scenery we get along the canals, so I'm curious to see what it's like as we get closer to the city center. You can see how urban it suddenly feels. We're just next to a bunch of warehouses. That means we're getting closer to downtown. Just saw a sign that says we're about 2 miles from the university. The canal here was how they transported goods in the UK before the steam train was invented. And the high speed of the train was what eventually put the canals out of business. But here, they live side by side still. Yeah, train station right here. I could have picked you up right here. The train station. And the canals have changed from a busy industrial area over the years to a quiet place in,
Cadbury.
well, the middle of the city. It was Waterside Estate. Nicole brought snacks. In fact, a lot of locals use the towpath as walking or cycling trails. So Nicole's gonna give them a try.
What kind of shots would you like? Gonna go take some shots of you driving the boat? Oh. Oh yeah. I'm going for a walk. Totally normal, natural. Nothing to see here. It is nice to see his eye roll. I'm going for a walk. The thing about narrowboats is you don't get a lot of steps in it.
Good one.
I got it.
Now I'm stuck. We've grounded. Let's go back. And while she's getting her steps in, I get to eat the rest of the snacks. I tend to use my hips a lot for steering rather than my hands.
Hey there, sailor.
Howdy.
You looking to take any wenches aboard?
Only dames. We take damsels, but only if they're in distress.
That's a no. It's a hard no on the wenches.
Hard no on the wenches. Ladies and dames only.
Oh, funny. They're like the perfect couple for this sort of thing. They
Now we are
both totally
approaching
get
the
into it.
University of Birmingham. It's the 7th largest university in the UK with about 35,000 students. But I can tell you, from down here on the canal, you'd hardly know it at all. I mean,
Right.
without this sign, I wouldn't have known we were passing it. Now, all of this talk of us narrowboating through a city with more canals than Venice, and yet we haven't seen any city. But I think that's about to change. We've passed the University of Birmingham, so we're officially in Birmingham. But it doesn't really feel like it yet, except for the occasional train. Not much. Ooh, is that
That's such
something?
a
And under
difference
this final bridge,
from what they
we are arriving
normally have
in
done.
the Birmingham city center. And along the rest of this trip, we haven't seen a single boat on the canal so far. Yet the city center here is suddenly very busy. It's a different feeling to the canals in the countryside. We suddenly went from nothing Just so much action.
What are those
in terms
locks?
of canal boating. This used to be full of warehouses, obviously for shipping goods on and off of the canals, which was what it was all about. And now it's this lovely retail
Look
area.
at that. That's
I'm worried,
awesome.
just like everywhere in the city, parking might be difficult.
It's cute, but it's busy. We want to find the visitor mooring spots. Do you remember what side they're on? Let's keep going. We'll go to the next one. These are visitor moorings. We're gonna keep going a little bit, but we're gonna keep this as a backup. Come back if we have to. I think this one's a restaurant.
Fudge.
Everyone's so dressed up. I don't know if I have any clothes that'll fit in here.
That's always the case. That has nothing to do with being on canal.
No. Nice basin though.
This is Gas Street
Slight
Basin.
little dig
So we're
there.
coming through a very narrow point, and this was one of the toll houses where you'd have to stop and pay the toll to use the canal. You're clear?
Built in 1772, and it is now full of marinas for narrowboats and restaurants. for
That's so
people.
cool.
And as you can see, it's busy. This is technically the end of one canal, and just up ahead is the beginning of a different canal. So they connected them with this very narrow stretch here, where you would normally have to pay a toll to pass through.
That is a great example of the original, like, working coal hauling narrowboats. No living space there except for the back little bit for the traveler. I want to say I'm just filming. Nicole's doing a perfect
This looks
job
like a lot of
managing
fun.
this tight spaces with all the gongoozlers watching.
But all of these old buildings were warehouses
that.
and factories that used the narrowboats to ship their goods to other parts of the country. And they've now changed to restaurants and pubs, and the canals have been adopted for recreational use, like what we're doing now. And you can really see how it's brought a lot of life to the area.
Oh boy.
Oh, I guess they have party boats. Hiya. Everyone's out having a good time in Birmingham. This is the place to be. How do you feel about leaving our boat here overnight?
We could park here, get dinner, and do city stuff, and then we don't have to sleep here if you don't want to.
Right. Okay, so we'll moor up. Oh, this says no mooring. That's very confusing right next to the mooring pins.
It must be for...
Maybe it's those ones up there.
The confusion is coming from all these open and available parking spots, but they're actually reserved for all the tour and party boats, as this is where they're based, so we can't park here. But look at all the people. It really
Dang.
is amazing to see how lively this area is.
So I thought we could moor here. I think maybe on the left, but I bet that's full too. We could turn around and go back to that other spot, or we can keep going. So at the beginning of the episode, I did reference that this is the Venice more so than Venice. Like, this has over 100 miles of canal in it, whereas Venice only has 26 miles.
It is crowded.
Look at this. Does this not feel like a canal city? We might be able to moor up here.
Alright.
Some boats.
On the right?
And this might just be the hub of it all. This is where a number of canals and side canals come together. Like this big intersection here with a roundabout in the middle. Or is it called a roundabout?
1, 2,
Brunch.
3, 4. Right, okay, this does say mooring for 4 days.
Okay, but that's not really like that. I feel
There's
like
maybe one up on the left. We'll check this sign as well.
I have to say, it's a weird feeling driving our own boat in a city center.
Oh, wait a minute.
this is Legoland.
Yeah, Legoland.
But with that being said,
Yeah.
there's not much traffic on the water.
Perfect. We'll park it here on the left. Look at this, in Birmingham. All right, reverse. Yeah!
Master. Right there.
Back it up.
I'm backing up.
It's just like finding parking in the city, except it's free for up to 4 days here. Not bad. Now we're gonna lock up and explore the city.
So we'll lock our doors, close our blinds, and make sure the boat is tied up tight. This really is prime parking and seems like a good quiet spot in the heart of town. Well, maybe not too quiet.
I'm not used to this, but because we're in the city, we can do city stuff. So showered, cleaned up, going on a proper date night. The
Yeah,
only
look at
part
that.
is the boat keys comes with a flotation cork ball, but that in the pocket is largely awkward. So, pardon me, Birmingham, they're just boat keys.
It's so interesting to see the original industrial architecture built around the canals still being used and loved today. So Nicole and I have decided to stay near the canals to enjoy this unique atmosphere.
This looks
We are
pretty
dining
awesome.
tonight at this canal-side warehouse converted to a restaurant. Wow. And out back has a huge patio and live music right along the water, which should make for a great canal-themed date spot.
Ah, yes.
Not a bad view.
Not this way.
But we have a big debate to settle once and for all. We're comparing the difference between chips and fries. Chip, French fry. I vote chips. You vote?
I go restaurant by restaurant, and if they make their chips better than their fries, then good for them, but
So in this case?
the fries are better.
Before we head back to the boat, Nicole and I want to walk off all these chips, fries. I don't think I would have put Birmingham on my travel list, except for this canal. And I'm not disappointed. So let's see what Birmingham is like away from the canals. And the first thing we see are people having fun in all sorts of different ways. Wow. Birmingham's got a lively square. Woo! Birmingham also has a modern set of trams and some incredible, beautiful old architecture, and of course, more canals, which eventually leads us back to our home sweet home.
I could definitely get into this city and have fun there, for sure. Especially if you come in on a boat, you can have a lot of fun, if you know what I mean. Not like those girls in the one boat, but, you know, date night type fun. That would be fun to try the restaurants, you know, pubs and so on and so forth. It seems very lively, at least down here. I love how they've converted the old warehouses into retail and restaurants and stuff like that. I love how cities are able to do that. And what was probably once very dingy and dirty area, the canal with the shipping of goods and stuff like that way back in the day, is now turned into very vibrant and a popular place to go for entertainment. Yeah, so it's very cool.
Good morning. If I'm honest, it's actually not even morning anymore. It's 12:30 in the afternoon. We've had a very lazy morning, except for Nicole. She's off at the moment at a gym working out in town.
Oh, wow.
Because you can do that when you're in a city. This has been a very different canal experience than we normally have. And so today, we're just gonna head up a little bit, turn around, and then we gotta head back to return this tomorrow morning. But I think there's still time for brunch. Now, I know this feels like a little bit of a repeat of what you just saw from our night last night, but I swear it's different because we're going to the toll house, and the canal is a lot quieter this morning, this afternoon. I know. Again, this is another piece of canal infrastructure that has now been adopted for people to come and enjoy. I figure if we came all the way here, we had to see it. The canals were a big part of why Birmingham grew into a booming working town, and it seems like
So cool.
the canals are still at the center of it all. This is cool, but I think we're gonna sit outside because it's a nice enough day.
Heck yeah.
Cheers. So this bar was the location between two different
1792.
canals, and they would have to carry the cargo from one canal into another boat in this other canal until this was opened, like 23 years later. This little narrow gap made a big difference. You see, this basin was the end of the Birmingham Mainline Canal, and this basin was the end of the Worcester and Birmingham Canal line. That's a separate canal. Only in 1815 did they connect it with this little connector. And what's now the Canalside Pub used to be the toll house. They'd collect the toll for passing from one canal to the next. I realized that they call an English breakfast just breakfast over here. That was the only option. Would you like breakfast? Yes, you get this. I really love how
Looks good.
narrowboating is a unique mix of history and leisure. Like we're eating brunch on holiday in a canal toll house that is over 200 years old. And I might like the history and engineering aspect of the canals, but they're fun and relaxing enough for Nicole to want to come along too. It really feels like a win-win to me. We just
Right.
stopped on the way back to the boat, got some groceries, and what we found is Birmingham is very walkable. Basically, once we've arrived by boat, we haven't needed a car. It's been fantastic.
Most canals are in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It feels like. Yeah, it's been cool. It's been fun. Ironically, need groceries because we will be in the middle of nowhere by dinner time.
That's
We
right.
think. Not very many choices.
Right.
Once you leave the city, you're on your own.
It's been nice to arrive by boat and not be trapped without a car. We've done everything we've wanted to do just by walking. Nicole went to the gym this morning,
Yeah.
just walked.
Yeah.
But our time in Birmingham is up.
Okay, good to go.
I thought it was dead.
I don't know what I expected in Birmingham, but I had a better time than I thought I would. Can't go anywhere without our tiller. All good things must come to an end, I guess. Thank you, Birmingham.
I'll admit, I was a little worried about narrowboating in a city center in front of gongoozlers, but that was a fun stop. And honestly, I think it was the best way to see Birmingham.
Can I honk? Making a big turn here. Uh-oh, we're not gonna make it. I'm impressed you've made it this far in the video. I'm Mike, this is DownieLive, and if the subscribe button is red, since you've made it this far, I recommend you hit it. Make sure it's gray.
Heck yeah.
Because next week is even more interesting than this week.
Because I'll be driving a narrowboat in Scotland for the first time as we ride the world's only
Look at that.
rotating boat lift. Yes, it's the famous Falkirk Wheel, one of Scotland's most popular tourist attractions, and we'll be riding the engineering marvel right here next week on DownieLive Travels by Boat.
Incredible. Give him a little press there. This was incredible. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's certainly, I've seen some videos of Birmingham. Wasn't expecting this to be in Birmingham, but I guess if I really had to sit and think about what was the best, most canals, I think maybe I would have come up with Birmingham. Probably not, but who knows. This video was great. Please go support Mike and his channel, DownieLive, with likes and subscribes and multiple viewings of his videos. Please go do that. Have thoroughly enjoyed what I have seen from his narrowboating adventures. They've shown me so much more than I expected, and he is just really good. And Nicole, of course, she's wonderful as well. So hats off to both of you. Great video, and I had no idea. I had no idea Birmingham, was like that today. I love seeing all the modern takeover of the old, the repurposing of the old warehouses and stuff like that. I just love when cities have the ability to do that and revitalize areas that were, thought to be dead, I guess. But yeah, very cool. Let me know what I missed, some other tidbits about Birmingham. I know a lot of you have some information, and like I said, I always do a lot of learning after the video from all of you, so I look forward to that. Hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. Thank you so much for coming along. I appreciate all of you, and we'll see you soon. Okay, take care. Bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark. Yeah.